Would Carl Muhammad come to one podium and Aaron Cross come to the other, please? After these two speakers, there will be Amanda Post. Go ahead, Mr. Muhammad.
Carl Muhammad. Once again, I'm here to talk about the worst part of your school system, which is the African-American children. And back in 2011, 2015, we came up with this information, and every word inside of this book was developed by the school district of Palm Beach County, and every word was kind of co-sponsored by you, Mr. Barberera, you, Mr. Shaw, Ms. Brill, Ms. Andrews. You two were just new, but I'm sure that, of course, you, Superintendent. One of the problems that we've had is that when this information was developed, we decided that we were going to allow the superintendent to be the responsible person for that. I see where we made a mistake in that, because we've held about 3 superintendents, and none of them have made you aware of the actual facts of what is taking place inside of this book. And we had a legitimate vote when Mr. Avosa was here, and we voted that the superintendent would be the one in charge. And then when Mr. Flournoy came in, he said that he was going to take it under his reign last year, and we didn't hear anything about it. Now, I'm hoping that we can possibly bring this back to your board members, and you can take another critical, analytical look at it and see if it's worthy of the real things that are inside of it. And it's called Beyond the Talk, Taking Actions to Increase Graduation Rate and Reduce Suspension of African-American Students, in particular the African-American male child. And many of you might have heard of this, but it was changed to the Superintendent Task Force. But I don't believe that this kind of information was transferred inside of that kind of dynamic. And we have all of the responsible things that addresses the problem of the non-immigrant blacks here in Palm Beach County. Now, I know that many times we say blacks, and we know that we have a lot of different subgroups of blacks, and most of the time we get it all blended together. And I think, and I know for a fact that we do ourselves a disservice, because there are individual needs from each child, from each different culture. And what we're trying to do is trying to make it easier for you guys to assist us in really raising some better students and better people inside of Palm Beach County, and we need you to take another critical look. Now, I don't know who I would share this kind of information with, but I know the last time I tried to give it to you, it was a difficulty factor in just printing the book. And that sounded crazy to me at that time, and I know it sounds crazy again. But I do think that each one of you need an opportunity to embrace this kind of wisdom, because it is the worst part of your system. And we are, as a community, we are there, and we're not mixed up with everybody else. And it's going to take a critical ear for you to really understand what I'm talking about. But I think we could get a glimpse of it as we looked at what happened with the Jewish situation in the Spanish River, and how important that is to the Jewish people, to African Americans who are the children of the slaves. Everything is just as serious to us as well. Plus, we have much more information we have to compile, and a lot of it has been destroyed and all these other things. So we need the support of you this year. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Muhammad, if you would make that book available to Carol Bass, we'll have it in the board office so we can all take a look at it.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Cross. Thank you for listening to me today. I'm here because I was hired within the district with one of the new positions for school behavior and mental health specialists. I worked for about 3 weeks and then received a call from Miss Mimi Garcia in Professional Standards saying that I was not being truthful on my background, which I have always been truthful on my background. I was employed here with the district in 2013 through 15 as a substitute teacher. And I recently left my job, relocated for the position, and then to get a call and say that I was not being truthful and defamed my character, it kind of it's a slap in the face. What was on the record, which I had to find out through the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the chief, Mr. Reed, at the state attorney's office, because that information wasn't provided for me from Ms. Mimi or from Ms. Vicky Pilar, that it was something that happened when I was a juvenile. I was 14 years old, never went to jail, never was arrested, never went to a diversion program, never went to court. Based on this Florida statute 943.085, it's for juveniles. They automatically expunge your record if you didn't reoffend. Ms. Vicky asked me to submit a narrative which would explain what happened 23 years ago in 1996. I told her I can do the best of my ability as I can recall, because I did not recall this incident until it came back on my expungement on the FDLE that you guys do at the district. Got that information, everything is there, the statute's there on the FDLE background check, which clearly states that I have no knowledge of it being expunged. The courts or the judge don't have to say anything to me, it's automatically done. I've lost almost everything right now. And I think that because I reached out to Miss Mimi and she didn't like or feel comfortable with me being curious as to what's going on, sorry if I get emotional, but this is my life. This is my character, and it's not fair. This is not a simple issue of somebody's lying. I understand policy and procedure, very knowledgeable of it. So I wouldn't lie. It makes no sense to lie. I've always been truthful. Ms. Mimi and Ms. Vicky told me that the forms had changed. I went to some department here in the district and pulled my 2013 background check, clearance check. I put the same exact thing. I don't have any expungements because as until July 25th, 2019, I never known I had one. And I just wish that everybody would take some time and take it into consideration and don't let people that are upset because I went above and wanted to know a little bit more what's going on with my life and to be able to support my son, which has never been an issue. It needs to be some consideration and things need to be done differently, or somebody needs to look at something differently. And please do not just push me over. I've emailed and I've called everybody. I have not even had the professional courtesy from Mr. Flournoy to even respond to an email or anybody else, as a matter of fact. Someone named Miss Carol, thank you so much. I don't know who she is. She was the only one that responded back to me. I'm not looking for anybody to do anything special for me because I've worked and earned everything that I have. I've contracted through the school district for the past 3 years. I go out and do ABA therapy in your schools now. So you're asking me to produce all of these different evidence and documents that is known that I cannot produce because it's age of majority. Those records has been destroyed. And it's clearly stated in the statute. I have nothing. I'm a single parent. I don't want any special treatment. I just want it to be heard. And I need everybody to look at this, not that I lied, because I didn't lie.
Thank you, Ms. Cross. Actually, when I saw your email, I did discuss this with the superintendent. I've asked him to take a look at the situation and see what can be done. Thank you. Amanda Post, you here?
I do have a packet for each of you. I don't know if you would like me to pass that out. Okay.
The next three speakers are going to have an interpreter with them, so if the interpreter wants to get ready for Pastor Valentin Fontanez will be the next speaker. Go ahead, ma'am.
Board Chair Barbieri, trustees, my trustee, Ms. McQuinn, and Dr. Fenoy, thank you for hearing me speak tonight. I was born and raised in Jupiter, Florida. I have lived there my whole life. I'm a graduate of Jupiter High School. I'm here tonight to address my non-reappointment as a teacher at Dwyer High School for the 2019-2020 school year. Last year was only my second year teaching, but I was an effective teacher both years and was actually close to being highly effective. Palm Beach County has a critical teacher shortage to begin with, but even more so for science teachers. And I was a science teacher, biology to be exact, which is also an EOC course. I did not have any issues my first year of teaching, but unfortunately, I had many issues and concerns with my administration through this past school year. There was also a new principal and new assistant principals this past school year, though. The year started out with me being placed out of field, which eventually led to the resolving of a grievance in November of 2018. I believe that's where the animosity first started. Throughout the year, I had challenges with student behavior and classroom management, but I'm not some young, blonde, white girl who can't control her classroom. If the administration didn't have confidence in me, then they should have had had me coached or referred to some type of program, classroom management, professional development training, but did they? No. So my students needed guidance and help beyond what I could provide them, and they were interrupting classroom instruction. So because of that, I reached out to APs, but they were no help when I reached out to them. They made false promises. I rarely received assistance when I called for it, and 24 referrals were ultimately never processed, and they're in that packet that I provided you. That alone is a violation of the Student Code of Conduct and Florida Statute 1003.32. I had an incident with a student I was concerned about, and I tried to bring to the attention of Mr. Brooks, but the issue was never addressed. Later in the year, that same student did something during school that caused them to go to the hospital and have to have surgery on their hand. At the end of that same week, I was not reappointed. And on that same day that I was not reappointed, I had an informal observation just randomly show up on my iObservation portal. So not only was that after the deadlines for observations to be conducted, but no one ever actually came into my room to do an observation. On top of that, I had already confirmed with my evaluating AP if I needed any more observations to be done, and I was told no, everything was taken care of. It was all done. So my final evaluation results were influenced by an observation that never happened, as well as falsified records. I see all of this as the administration is getting away with not doing what they're legally obligated to do, and a new teacher doesn't get reappointed as a result of just trying to do their job. So I wasn't given a chance to grow and be supported as a professional and teacher at Dwyer High School, and I'm requesting the following. I don't want to be blackballed from any further employment opportunities in the district. I would like a full investigation into the issues that I've addressed tonight. And 3, I would like to continue working in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, would the interpreter come up to the microphone with the pastor, please? Go ahead.
Buenas tardes,
Good afternoon.
soy el pastor Valentín Fontanes,
I'm the pastor Valentin Fontanes,
es presidente y miembro de la Asociación de Pastores del Condado de Palm Beach.
former president and member of the Association of Pastors of the Palm Beach County.
Representamos más de 300 iglesias en este condado,
We represent more than 300 churches in this county,
el cual nuestro presidente Beto Disco está presente aquí hoy.
and our president Disqua is here today.
Estamos aquí hoy
We are here today
porque estamos muy interesados en la Asociación de Pastores en involucrarnos en los asuntos que benefician a nuestra comunidad.
because the Association of Pastors, we are very interested in getting involved in the matters that concern our community.
Por eso me alegré cuando escuché que han nombrado a la señora Rivera como directora hispana de una escuela aquí en este condado.
That's why I'm very happy and I'm glad to hear that Ms. Rivera was appointed as director in this county, as one of our schools.
Pero deseamos que existan o haya más directores hispanos porque nuestra comunidad está creciendo en este condado del 35 al 40% somos hispanos ahora aquí. Así que sí,
But we wish that we have more Hispanic principals in our schools, since our Hispanic community has been growing from a 35 to 40% now in this county.
porque eso ayudaría y mandaría un mensaje de que el Departamento de Educación está muy interesado en ayudar a la comunidad hispana.
Because that would help and actually send a message that the Department of Education is interested in helping the Hispanic community.
También tenemos otra preocupación
We also have another concern,
y es el discrimen que existe contra los hispanos.
and it's the crime that exists against Hispanic people.
Lo vimos en Texas hace poco
We saw it in Texas,
y no queremos que siga ocurriendo esto.
and we don't want this to continue and to happen again.
Y por eso es que queremos participar.
That's why we want to participate.
Y deseamos que se eduque en las escuelas un poco más sobre la comunidad hispana.
And we wish that in our schools we get our kids educated more about the Hispanic community.
Por eso, como también presentador de un programa de televisión hispano con CTN, Canal 61,
That's why, as also I'm a presenter at a Hispanic program
Ajá, canal de televisión hispano.
of Hispanic television.
Yo estaría dispuesto a invitarlos para que informen a la comunidad hispana todo el trabajo que ustedes también hacen por nuestra comunidad.
I'll be able to invite you and for you to talk about all the work that you do for our Hispanic community.
Muchas gracias y que Dios los bendiga.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
You're welcome. Thank you. The next speaker is Yvette Chavez. Abraham Segundo. Would the interpreter
evening.
please give your name for the record also? Your name, interpreter,
Oh, Lauren Rendueles.
into the microphone.
I'm sorry, Lauren Rendueles.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity, Dr. Lenoy and board. I will have you a little bit of help, because I want to introduce myself in English and speak in Spanish, so I can make me understand very properly. My name is Abraham Segundo. I've been working with the community for more than 8 years. Right now I'm working on radio media. I have a radio show called Visión Latina that purpose is to communicate all important information for the Hispanic community, because sometimes we commit so many mistakes because we don't know the information that is already there. And this is happening right now and so many times with the parents. So I'm going to start speaking in Spanish. Una de las cosas que más les importan a los padres es saber que los hijos están en un lugar seguro y están recibiendo la educación que ellos necesitan para que su formación sea lo mejor posible.
One of the things that are very important to parents, most important to parents, is that to know that their kids are safe in schools and they're receiving the education that they need to be successful in the future.
Some of the concerns that I listen, una de las preocupaciones que siempre escucho en el programa de radio, donde tengo el gusto de tenerlos a ustedes a través de los medios de comunicación, es la falta de personal en lugares claves como los administrativos, en la docencia y en los directivos o los principals en las escuelas.
One of my concerns, as since I got the radio program, is, and I'm thinking I have you through the media.
Department.
Yes. So what would you say the last part?
And then,
Oh, and the concern is that we need more principals and administrative positions from Hispanic people in our schools.
yes, and that's something that I hear all the time in the radio, that they need this personnel there, and it is important for the parents to feel comfortable when they approach to the authorities, because sometimes they don't have the confidence and they think that they are not going to be listened. And this is some of the issues that is very important for the parents right now. Another topic is that inside the schools, the parents and the kids are experiencing some kind of bullying, and from the ethnicity from they come from. And sometimes even the kids have shame to say where they come, to be to the fear to be bullied. So this is one of the concerns of the parents, and also how we can preserve the Hispanic education and the culture inside of the schools programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Ian Blake and Gene Weisner.
I don't believe that I'm going to have all the time to read my full remarks, so can I submit them for the record?
Sure.
wherever they go.
You can go ahead and start, and the clerk will come down and get them for me.
Sure. I'd like to start by saying thank you to the school board for the application of the security guards. I was really concerned beforehand, and I really appreciate how they've been implemented. I'd also like to echo and support the statements of Ms. Calloway and also the work of Brother Carl. The water that we swim in is a phrase that connotes an unquestioned environment, a circumstance so pervasive as to almost be invisible. I suggest that white supremacy and the patriarchy are part of that pervasive environment. I grew up in South Florida. I attended School of the Arts and Suncoast High School, two highly regarded academic institutions, and my education in American history was sorely lacking. As a society, we have been adequate in condemning public lynching and cross burnings, but we are remiss in telling the story of the events themselves and the context in which they took place. Indeed, when the subject of racism is broached, retorts such as, "That was a long time ago," are often invoked as a means of distancing the speaker from their personal involvement, implicit or otherwise, in the structural discrimination that handicaps non-white citizens. This ego defense mechanism belies the reality that Southern plantation owners were given $300, approximately $4,700 in today's currency, reparations per slave that was freed, the explicit exclusion of non-whites from the GI benefits after World War II, Jim Crow laws that in many regards still exist today, redlining, unequal mandatory minimum sentencing regarding powder versus crack cocaine, and general unequal treatment by the criminal justice system. All these examples and more compound generationally and manifest in the modern wealth inequality. I'll skip ahead to my requests. I have 3 specific requests for this august body. First, I am aware that my words may be confronting, but uncomfortable is not the same as untrue. If there is a rejection of a particular statement I have made here, I request that you examine the claim and identify the falsehood. If none can be found, kindly work on incorporating the concept into your understanding. Second, the sanitized history we tell about ourselves and our country actively perpetuates tension in our communities. We must do better. We can do better. You are so charged. Third, I do not know the degree to which media studies and critical studies have been incorporated into the curriculum of the county. I recognize that students and teachers have their focus drawn in multiple directions at all times. However, I only see this trend increasing, raising the importance of critical theory and discernment. If it is not already on your radar, please investigate media studies and critical theory as an option to incorporate. If this curriculum already exists, kindly see it proliferate. I thank you for your time and for the opportunity to speak.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Would you please state your name for the record?
you. Ian Blake.
Okay, thank you very much. Gene Wisner. Sharon Rowe.
Good evening, board member. Good evening, Dr. Fenelon. My name is Wisner Gene, once again. I'm so glad to be here tonight to speak on behalf of the application that I have been applied for position so many times, and I would like the board member heard my voice, and where some of you probably already know me, because I had followed all the administrative procedure. And one of the things I want to point out, I have been applied prior of the school district back in 2014, and as electrician, I'm a licensed Palm Beach County licensed electrician, and I've been working in Zone 9, North Shop, and doing the whole time. By the way, I'm a father of 2 children. I'm married, so I have a family to raise. Doing the whole time, and I've been going to school to succeed myself and my family, and the whole time, and I have applied so many times for a position. I have not gotten interviewed, And that's one of the reasons I'm here, for one of you at least to heard my voice, to looking at my application, why I have been blackballed, why I have been blacked out, and I have not getting a position where I have all my qualification and all the requirement they ask and all the classes school board offer. I have it, like electrical safety and workplace training, National Fire Protection Agency. I have went to the class SREF class. I have complete 8 hours fire marshal. I have complete 8 hours maintenance educational facility, chapter 5. And moreover, I have earned back in 2017 a bachelor degree in management. And I have applied for a position named leader support operation. And I know for a fact I have met all the requirements, and I would like to know why I never get interviewed. And I have seen people who have been in the system less than I, and they were promoted, and they get they have promoted on the higher level. I want to know. I would like one of you tonight to looking at my resume and why I have not even the interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Rowe, I called her name. Is Sharon Rowe here? All right, board members, unless you have anything else, Mr. Superintendent?
No, sir.
We need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion by Mr. Shaw, seconded by Mrs. Brill. Any discussion? All in favor, all opposed. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.